Welcome to Unshakeable with Human Design, the show dedicated to helping entrepreneurs use human design to shift from hustle to flow without sacrificing results. Come here to become an unshakable human and build an unshakable business according to your human design. I'm your host, Nicole Laino. Hello and welcome to Unshakeable with Human Design. I'm your host, Nicole Laino, and today we are going to be talking about the 3-line. So the profile lines in human design are some of the most important aspects of any person's human design. Understanding your profile is really key to understanding who you are. It is the character that you're here to play. So if we don't understand our human design profile, we can be living in denial of it, or we can be living in direct opposition to our true nature. So I really want to dig into the lines. I've wanted to dig into the lines for a while. We did do an episode way back on the profiles where I ran through each of the line themes. And today I want to zone in on the 3-line. And this is honestly coming in direct response to a DM that I got from somebody who was saying that she found out that she's a 3-5. And I'm not going to share any names here, but she found out that she was a 3-5. And she was so devastated by the way that the 3 was described specifically, that the 3 was described that she felt like everything that she did was destined for failure. That was how she interpreted her profile line and what it meant to be a 3. Now, I have heard this from other people. I've heard this from other 3s. So I want to come at this and talk about certain aspects of this from a couple of different angles. So we're going to talk today about what happens if you really hate something in your profile, anything in your human design chart. And most of us do. Most of us are like, oh God, not that, to at least one thing. What do you do about that? And how can you learn to, and what does that really mean, honestly? What does it really mean when you don't love something in your profile, when you downright hate it, when you can't even look at it? That is something that we do want to take a look at. We're going to talk about that a little bit today. And then we're going to look at really what is the 3-line. What is the 3-line? So if you've ever felt like you don't love something about your human design, or maybe it even made you shy away and turn away from human design because you hated something so much that you were like, if I start to accept this system, then I have to accept this thing about myself. What an interesting exercise that is, isn't it? To have to radically accept yourself. And that is honestly what we're doing with human design. We are radically accepting ourselves and learning to, as I say, love the shit out of ourselves. That is my goal. With human design, my goal is that when you look at your chart, you see you. You see you in chart form. And then when you look in the mirror, you see that chart. And when you see yourself without any judgment, when you're just looking at it and saying, this is me, with total acceptance, you love yourself so deeply because you see your gifts. You see the gifts you've denied. You see the shadows that you've let take over. And you see how you can transmute them. And you see how they contain your greatest and most powerful gifts. That's my goal for you. And we're going to start today. We're going to talk about the 3-line because this lovely woman wrote me a message and shared with me her experience. And I had the same experience with my 5-1 profile. I did not want to be a 5-1. So I understand this from my own personal perspective and my own personal experience. There were lots of things in my human design that I was not thrilled with. And I also want to talk a little bit about some of the negativity with the way that these pieces, these aspects of our chart can be described, right? And I respect what Ra was doing when he transmitted this system to us all. He was trying to shock us. He was. And I think it was needed. I think that was needed at the time. I think that we needed to be shocked into trying it. I think we needed to be shocked. I think that maybe that was the way that he made his impact, and he initiated everybody into this system, and I'm grateful for it. But I'm also recognizing that there's time for a shift and into looking at these aspects of ourselves with greater compassion, with greater possibility, and seeing potential rather than certain doom or something that is just so ugly we don't even want to look at it. That's just not the truth. So let's talk a little bit about this, about what do you do if you hate something in your human design? I really encourage you to look at that thing. If you hate something in your human design, if you can't even stand to look at it, then that's exactly where you should start. That's exactly the thing that you should look at, and you should find its gifts. And you should work each day to start to recognize awesome aspects of that in your day-to-day life. And if you notice the shadow, if you notice the low frequency of that thing showing up, then it's actually showing you that this is a shadow. This is a light you need to turn on. It's a dark room in your house. And when we turn on those lights in those dark rooms, then the boogeyman goes away. It was never there. We suddenly get to be more in power and owning more of ourselves. So that's actually the powerful thing. How seeing one of these aspects for what it is, that when we see ourselves and we see an aspect of our chart that we don't love, that we hate, that's showing us exactly where we have healing to do. It's showing you where your greatest work is. And then in turn, it's showing you where your greatest potential is. There's something there. If you feel held back, if you feel like you are not reaching your full potential, this is probably a key element in it. So get into it. Go after it. See it with softer eyes and a softer heart. Because I did that with my 5-1. I absolutely did not want that. I read that and I was like, oh God, please not this. I do not want to be a 5-1. This sounds like a really hard life. This sounds like it will never get better. This sounds like no one's ever going to understand me. This sounds like everything is always going to be painful and I'm always going to feel like this. No, thank you. And quite frankly, being a 5-1 has become my most powerful lesson in understanding it, but owning what it is to be a 5-1, this is how I truly have claimed my potential. I couldn't understand. Everybody wants to know what their incarnation cross is. What's my purpose? You will never know until you look at it through the lens and live it through the path of your profile. My incarnation cross does not shine in the way it's meant to shine if I'm acting like a 1-3 or a 2-4. It can only be realized for me in the way that is truly in alignment for me if I own being a 5-1. And I love it. And I do love it. I love it now. It is not always easy, but it is my path. It made everything in my life feel validated and helped me feel understood and my journey understood. So I encourage you that if you have these feelings, keep going, okay? There's something in that aspect for you, I promise you. Now, the other thing I wanted to talk about is just this negative point of view on in human design and the way that we look at these things. There's a gift in all of these. I try to focus on a lot of the positive here and on this show. But there are so many resources out there that are focusing on the positive. So please go and find those, immerse yourself in those, recognize that every shadow contains a gift. I highly recommend you looking into the Gene Keys, which I am a Gene Keys guide. I will be happy to walk you through that in a reading if you are interested in that, and taking you through a Gene Keys reading or a human design reading. If you are interested in that, you can do that, or you can just go through, buy the book, start diving into your Gene Keys at genekeys.com. It will open up a whole world for you. Now let's talk about the 3-line. The 3-line is such a magical profile line. The 3-line is here. It holds this tremendous potential for mutation. That's how we refer to it in human design. It's like this mutative force. It's this force that's always looking at something and saying, it doesn't have to be the way it always was. It could be new. It could be different. I could be new. I could be different, is what the 3 says. The 3 is not failing all the time, like this lovely reader interpreted the definitions that she read as. It's not always failing. But the 3-line is comfortable with failure. So a famous example of a 3-5, and I'll give you a couple. Sometimes it helps to hear like these massively successful people, these people we admire, to see them through their profile and to see us through somebody who has a similar piece of their design as we do. And how being something different would change who they were, which would change everything about them. So I want you to see your potential in all of the aspects of your design. But let's talk about the 3, and we're going to talk about, she said she was a 3-5, so we'll talk about the 3-5 a little bit here too. But the 3-line is about experimentation. The 3-line is here to be detached from the outcome, undeterred by failure. Things don't work, that's okay. What I'm hearing when someone says like, I'm doomed to fail, I'm going to fail, why bother? That is the low expression of the 3-line. I'm afraid to fail. It's not okay for me to fail. It's not okay for me to step into this. It's not okay for me to experience it. I have to understand it all first before I take a step. And what happens is then you never take a step. They never move. And the beauty of the 3-line is I never fail, I only learn. And it's as you move, there's just this, there should be excitement from the experience. It is about adventure. It is about seeing things that nobody's seen before. The 3-line has the greatest potential for sales aptitude. There's the greatest as far as being able to deliver something new and valuable to the tribe, the collective, to the people. It's the 3-line that does that. The 3-line is the key. When we teach sales, there's a big part of that is 3-line energy. Where's your 3-line energy? We talk about that in Selling by Design. Now, the 3-5, so I'm going to use Sarah Blakely as an example. Sarah Blakely, obviously, if you don't know who she is the creator of Spanx. She founded Spanx. Yeah, she's a little bit successful. She's done okay for herself. I believe she's the first female billionaire, and she is just, her whole business. So she talks about how she was just so relentless in her pursuit of perfecting this product. She allowed it to be iterative. Okay, we're going to do this. We're going to try this. We're going to try this fabric. I want this to be different. She had a vision for it, and she realized that by trying new things, by jumping in and being unafraid of what came next, just saying like, I'll figure it out. The 3-line's resourceful. Okay, the 3-line is just like, I'll figure it out. No problem. I got this. It's not failure. Not to them. I'm a 1-line. It's failure to me. But a 3-line, they're resourceful. They're like, I never fail. I only learn. I will either get the result that I want or the lesson that I need. I will figure this out. I know where I'm going. I know that my path unfolds before me. But Sarah Blakely talks about They were asking her the secret to her success. What made her so successful? What does she attribute to her success? And she said that her father, the way that Sarah Blakely says that her father raised her and her brother, were that every day when they came home from school or from wherever they were, he would ask them, "What did you fail at today? What did you fail at today?" And the only time he was disappointed in them was when they said nothing. And he's like, "Well, then you didn't try anything. You didn't try anything new." But he wanted to hear about what they tried and what didn't work. What did they do that was new? And he probably did her the greatest favor in her life. I mean, it's not even like it's lost on her. She attributes her success to the fact that her father changed her relationship with failure and made it a prerequisite for a successful day, was to have failed at something that day, to have tried so hard, to have gone so far, to have pushed your edge so far that you went into the world of unsuccessful, because that's where the greatest lessons are. So she was just relentless in her pursuit of what she wanted, relentless in a pursuit of her vision coming to life, of bringing it to life. That couldn't have happened if she was afraid of making a mistake, because the mistakes were what led her to the greater successes. And that is what the 3 line is all about. The 3 line is about, I never fail, I only learn. I'll either get the result that I want or the lesson that I need. Something is going to come from this action. So if you're fearing failure as a 3 line, then again, your purpose will never be fulfilled, because it's going to require you to push your boundaries. It's going to require you to leap into the void. It's going to require you to try things before you feel ready. So I hope that this was helpful in understanding what the 3 line energy really is and the magic of it. The magic of the 3 line. I envy the 3 lines. I envy the 3 lines. My husband is a 3-5, and I see him just excel so beautifully and is so in his element and is so living his purpose, because he comes from this place of just excitement in the experimentation of it. That he feels stagnant when he isn't going in and trying something new. They're innovators. They are innovators, the 3s. And it's such an amazing thing to behold. It is such an amazing gift to have. And it holds a gift for you, and it holds a gift for everybody else. So don't rob yourself of that. Anybody who is a 3 line, I want you to go and fail at something today. Not because it's going to fail, but just try something with such abandon that you don't care. You do it for the love of it. That's when magic happens. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. Please, we have a very special event coming up right at the end of June. We are going to be doing an amazing event where we are going to be showing you how to use your human design. We're going to be helping you dive into truly using this to harness this in your life and your business. And I cannot wait to bring it to you. Go to NicoleLaino.me/waitlist or NicoleLaino.me/podcast links, and you can book a human design reading with me at that link, or you can sign up for the wait list or any of the other programs that we have. You can find them all on that page. So please sign up for the wait list so that you do not miss out on this event that we're going to be hosting at the end of June. You will want to be there. It's going to be amazing. And we have special offers for you and all sorts of special goodies that are coming with that as well. So please go sign up for that, everyone. And I hope that you found this episode helpful. I hope that this inspired you to go out there and be the most 3-line 3 that you can be. Go and embrace that 3-line magnificent innovator energy. Okay? So remember, everyone, the key to having an unshakable business is to be an unshakable human. So please, I hope that you found this helpful. I hope that this episode helped you get a little bit closer to being unshakable with human design. We'll see you in the next one. If you love this episode and you're a fan of the show, please show us the love on iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you're listening to the show and leave us a review. And if you'd like to connect with other entrepreneurs on their human design journey, join our free Facebook community, Human Design for Entrepreneurs. Go to NicoleLaino.me/podcast links to join the group, book a human design reading with me, or access our free human design resources. We'll see you there.